Welcome to Face to Face. And today we're going to go to Richmond Hill. We're going to go to Queens. We're going to go in New York City. We're going to stay in New York City. And we're going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about the city council elections who are coming up. And I'm with my good friend that I know for many years, Harpreet Toor. Welcome to Face to Face.
Thanks, David. It is really an honor that we go back when both of us had black beards and black hair. You have gray hairs. I have gray hairs now. But it was an honor to work with you on the streets of the Queens to get the people their services, and that is the best part, I think, which a human has if they want to do it and use it. And that's how we came together to know each other. And since then, we have been together. But thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah. So how is the situation in Richmond Hill concerning the COVID, concerning the vaccine, in Queens? Because...
Well, let me put it down this way. This part of Queens, Richmond Hill, Ozone Park, South Ozone Park, South Richmond Hill, and part of Southeast Queens, they are the highest affected by COVID. But at the same time, the lack of medical facilities, the lack of hospitals, the lack of basic services, made this pandemic even worse because people needed in-language translation to understand what the virus is, and that was missing. That in-language translation for Hispanics, for Punjabis, Urdu-speaking, Hindi-speaking, Gujarati-speaking, basically, you name the community, because New York City is city of multilingual, multicultural people.
Yeah.
And those who understood English, they were a bit better off. But then again, they got exposed because within their own families, they had the people who did not understand what the virus is, and they had no idea and no resource to read, and they brought the virus home. And that made everybody sick. But finally, the vaccination is here. Vaccination is happening. And hopefully, we will turn the page as far as the virus is concerned. But at the same time, it has shown us what is lacking and what needs to be done to plug the holes before we get hit by another pandemic like coronavirus.
Can you cover a little bit more about the vaccine distribution? Because what I heard and what I see on the number, it's like very concentrate on the richest neighborhood in New York and have little and very complicated distribution into the poorest neighborhood and the more diverse. So do you have any...
I agree with you on that, that yes, the vaccination is taking place more into the rich neighborhoods than in the poor neighborhoods. But I will also break it down to lack of health facilities and lack of language access. Even if David is providing vaccine to Harpreet and Harpreet has no idea that David has the vaccine, they tell you, okay, go log into this website, register, you should be 65, this and that. A person who is not literate in English, they expect them to log into the computer and register. Come on, man.
No, I spent for 2 months I am trying to get a vaccine. And I cannot do it. I can't. Every day I look at the website, I have a list of places and I check on the places and they say non-valuable, 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 non-valuable. So I cannot imagine somebody with either older or somebody who was, who had to work all day long. How can they spend hours on the computer, log in and checking for unvaluability? It seems to be something, it's not adapted to the present moment and to the situation.
Well, yeah. Sometimes I wonder, I could be a poster boy for the vaccine also, like I was the poster boy for the city, for education access and stuff like that. But right now, I can't because it's not there. People are not having access to the vaccines. They don't have the access to the again, to the computers. And also there is another factor, which is the bandwidth of the internet. Again, the poor neighborhoods do not have that bandwidth which the rich neighborhoods have. So it is, it's a discrimination at each step. And those are the issues which are the issues at not just my heart, but I know at your heart also, that how we can minimize that divide so that the people can actually have equal access to everything. And we just go on working.
In Chile, they did by year of birth. I mean, it's very simple. You are born in 1962, and this is your day. You are born in 1963, and this is your day. And you go and you take the vaccine, and it's done. It's no internet registration, computer. I mean, it's such an for many people. I mean, who are either working or have low. I mean, we saw it with the education issue of classes, remote classes, and so on and so forth. It's a very challenging situation for poorest community.
We have one challenge after another. We already had enough challenges before COVID hit.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure, right? Okay,
that I can tell you.
Yeah. So with the COVID, what happened that whatever safety nets everybody thought we have, it exposed that those safety nets were not there either.
Yeah.
So what happened is, like you said, it is simple math. Why you have to go all the way to the exact date of birth of the person? When you say 65, you pick up, okay, anybody born before 1955, we will give you the vaccine. This is how it is going to be. You pick up either by first alphabet or last name first alphabet, and tell the people, okay, this is the location, this is how it is going to be. Logistically, it has not been fully resolved how logistically they want to take it to the people. Besides, there are people who are afraid to take the vaccine. Yeah. Again, it goes down to that basic teaching and in language translation to make the people understand.
No, but the fear of the vaccine, that's not the number. The problem right now, we don't have access to the vaccine. It's not people have. I mean, I know some people who will not get the vaccine, but that's not the issue right now.
I know also the people who did not get the vaccine, but what I'm saying is that I'm like, okay, those people who do not want the vaccine, that's one category. But the people who want the vaccine, even they are not getting it. That's what I want to say.
This is the majority of people. They want the vaccine. Mm-hmm. But it's a problem all over the place. It's not just in New York or in the US. It's in other places, it's the same issue.
Yeah.
So, how the situation? How do you see New York City in the next 5 years? Well, how do you see the city be able to face the challenge? And after that, we talk about your special run and city council campaign.
Okay. For me, if you ask me, I always had confidence in New York City, that this is the city which can come back from any disaster. What you need is the people who can really understand properly what needs to be done. They need to put their politics, their personal differences and their personal politics on the side. And they need to look at how to deliver what needs to be delivered to the people so that the people can add to to bring the city back. And I'm definite that the New York City will be back.
All right. Let me the devil advocate here, because it's a very challenging situation for New York.
It is.
Normally, you have 57 million tourists. You have no theater. You have no Broadway. You have no club. You have very little restaurant. You have, I mean, what business are we talking? How do you get out of this? The whole midtown, it's closed. Every business is gone. It's really the outside of Manhattan is little bit, in some way, little bit easiest because people are living there and they have their own story. But the activities, the Manhattan activity, it's very complicated.
Well, that is true. But then again, Manhattan was the way everything was being concentrated in Manhattan.
Yeah,
It was one of those
yeah,
disaster to happen
yeah,
because COVID actually proved that you just cannot have all your eggs in one basket.
yeah,
They need to have the eggs in other boroughs also.
yeah,
And also with the vaccination, with the 25% opening of the restaurants, again, some theaters are opening up. I think with the vaccinations, the way they are happening now, by the end of the summer, like Dr. Fauci mentioned, that we should uh, be able to at least close to reaching the herd immunity by the end of the summer. If we reach there, then I think we can always bring back Manhattan as well as the rest of the New York City. But at the same time, Manhattan itself, New York City will be back, but Manhattan itself will take more time because Manhattan actually has lost so much because of the COVID. And just to have Manhattan centric, they need to change those policies. Some of the areas like downtown Wall Street area, they converted into residential from commercial. They need to make those changes again. The new leadership, which is going to be in the city council, I'm hoping that they will be in a position to brainstorm all these things, and they have to think out of the box. They cannot anymore think within the box, within certain rules. They got to start thinking out of the box how to bring it back.
wow, yeah, but I agree. I mean, I think if something could be, it's going to take some time, but if something could be done and decentralized to the different borough, I think it could be very interesting for the city itself, and using the diversity of the city to be more inclined and less concentrated to people having to commute every day to the center of the city was
Oh,
great.
yeah, yeah. And also, there is one thing which I always say, that diversity of the city can also be used as a magnet for the tourists, that they can come and they can look how the people from different countries, different faith, they interact, they work together, they help each other. If something is needed, they come out and they support each other. So that is something, which is a backbone of New York City, and that backbone is still there. Even in pandemic time, you saw the people doing, the food distribution. You saw the people actually helping their neighbors, even though they were like, okay, the neighbor has an COVID exposure, how we can help. I literally know the people who will cook at their house. They will call the neighbor and tell them, okay, at this time I'm going to put the food in front of your door. Okay, then I will call you. Then you open the door and pick it up. And that's how the people help each other. And that's what is the beauty of New York. And that's what I'm looking at, that those links and those kind of dedication and determination will bring the New York City back to where it was.
Okay, so now let's talk about your campaign. You are running for City Council, and you have been years of activity, action, campaign in Richmond Hill. So, what is your main goal with this campaign?
Um, that the questions you are asking, they are such a great questions. Any question, when I look at it, it's one after another. Uh, the issue actually goes down to, when we look at, that I know that we were fighting even for the basic having school funding equally within New York City as they are doing upstate schools. And we won the case in Supreme Court, but the money is still not coming to the school. So my challenge is to how to bring that money to the school, so that which we talked about, the opening of the schools, providing the kids proper education, proper tools. And on top of that, with the pandemic, that there are going to be some psychological issues also with the kids, how to deal with it. And for all these services, you will need some funding. And that funding is something which we need to bring back to New York City, which is our fair share. And we have been cut too short for too long. And I'm pretty sure that all the other, city council people who ran or who are running, they are also looking at it. I hope so, at least, that how technically and literally we can bring that money and spend that money at the source where it is needed, whether it's Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, or Manhattan. Manhattan always got better than what the all four boroughs, rest of the four boroughs got. But we want to make sure, and I want to make sure that in my district we don't get discriminated. And there is one thing which I share with my within my friends, and I don't know if I ever spoke to you about it or not. The hospital where my elder son was born, that is closed, Queens. The hospital which gave my younger son new life because he stopped breathing right in my eyes. Okay, that hospital, Mary Immaculate Hospital, that is closed. That was in Queens, Jamaica. There are other hospitals. All these hospitals are closed because the budget choices made by the people, whether they were sitting at the city hall or in the Albany or Washington, D.C. They did not pay attention. And now with the COVID, with the pandemic, we saw the cost to the community for closing down, the short-sightedness, showing that, okay, we have deficit in the budget, so let us plug the loopholes, or social services network. Let's cut this social service network. Let's cut that social service network. So with all those cuts, what happened is that we were left at that level of exposure, which was unable to manage and control when COVID hit. And that is something we need to bring back to the table. All those services, we need to have those services so that the people, they can say that, okay, government actually is supposed to work for the people. And that is something which needs to be done, and I will make sure that it is done.
But no, I agree with you. But the story is also that the budget of New York has been divided by all the loss of businesses and tourism. So asking for more money right now, I think it's going to be a challenge to get it.
I agree. I'm not asking for more money. What I'm saying is it should be distributed fairly into all boroughs, all areas, all districts which need it. Okay, no borough or no zip code has a priority over the other zip code. Just because in one zip code, like we were talking about the COVID vaccination, the people who live in the rich zip code, they got the vaccination more than the people who live in the poor zip codes. That should not be the criteria. The criteria should be where the people live and who needs more services, and based on that numbers, the budget should be designed and divided, and that's all the money should be spent.
Okay. All right. So, and how are you gonna? What is the campaign? When are you starting? Are you already started? When are you? What are the steps? When is the election? How many votes do you need? All of this. We want to know everything.
Okay. Actually, the primary is on June 22nd. The biggest challenge right now is that we cannot go out and knock on the doors yet because of COVID.
Yeah.
Okay? And we even cannot go out and shake hands on the shopping centers. So those are the challenges right now. Okay. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm reaching out to the people through social media.
Yeah.
My webpage is up, tourforcitycouncil.com. And my Twitter and Facebook account will be up also. And not only that, I'm also open to hear from the people via either they can email me at harpreet@tourforcitycouncil.com, or even if they pick up the phone, call me at 516-448-8722 or 917-653-1834. I will try to do my best. Also, the other challenge is of course, the weather is another challenge we have this year. But when I go out for food distribution, for me, there is a conflict of within my mind that how do I tell these people who I'm giving food that, guys, I'm also running for city council, because I feel like that they may assume, or I may appear to be, that I'm trying to take advantage of the situation, even though I'm doing food distribution since May of last year, even before I decided to run. But it can become a hard for me to explain to the people. So that's another challenge. But interestingly, some of the pastors who I have been working with the food distribution since May of last year, they have been gracious enough to endorse me as a person who they say that you are a person who I can tell my people that they can listen to you, they can trust you, and you will say what you can deliver, not you will just promise and then walk away. And that is, I think, my backbone, and that's what I want to share with the people who in my district.
So you're gonna in some ways you're gonna run through your action that you have done in the neighborhood and through the community and leaders in the community that you know and you have been working with them for many years. So it will be like a social in the ground campaign.
Yeah, you can say that, because look at this. I was looking back at myself, since I'm in New York City. I ended up becoming the poster boy for New York City for English language classes. I was one of the person who New York Magazine picked up one of the 50 people who made difference in the lives of New York City. And the gentleman who did the portrait, Martin Scholler, and not only that, there on some people might have seen my face on Park Avenue and 22nd Street with Oprah Winfrey, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and they put my face also over there, because that's a company from Switzerland. They opened up their New York City branch quarter, and they picked me as my picture as a poster boy. Again, that shows that I do have the access beyond just my own community, just within certain closed circle or closed people. I have the ideas. I can get those ideas implemented, including a movie, Learning to Drive. You know
Yeah, I
that.
know. Yeah, Hollywood star.
Yeah, with Sir Ben Kingsley. I mean, who could have thought that Harpreet will be standing with Sir Ben Kingsley? And
I know. I
yeah,
saw your face in
actually, see
buses
on
in
the
New York.
back, you can see the picture right there behind me. There is a picture of Ben Kingsley sitting and my hand on his shoulder. I mean, who could have thought? So what I'm trying to say here is the people, they just, if they pay attention and they look at what I have done, they would know what I can deliver. And I think that is something which no other candidate has, which they can bring to the table.
So I have a little bit of tricky question. What do you see as an issue who is going to be very complicated to resolve? What's going to be the main challenge in? Imagine if tomorrow you are city council member, and what's going to be the main difficulties?
The biggest difficulty, of course, is going to be the budget. No doubt about it. But COVID is taking the priority right now. Once we have the COVID under control, then with the budget, how to prioritize the budget to provide the services between the old age people and the young kids who go to school. Those are the three biggest challenges which I'm looking at, that those are going to be the biggest challenges of at least our generation and the next generation. There are few things you don't know till you sit on the table, but these definitely are the challenges. The COVID under control, vaccination is a part of it, and then the kids coming back to school, they may need some help with they may come up with some mental health issues which they may never had before. They may come back with the kids coming from minority communities. They may lose their grip on the English which they had before the COVID, because they were living with their parents or grandparents who were not literate in English, and how to bring them back on the same level again. Those are the challenges which I'm looking at, and those are going to be very interesting challenges. But again, unless you take the bull by horn, you cannot resolve the issues, and that's what we need to do.
So we have a few minutes left. One is what is the situation with the school? Are the schools are closed and they're gonna, or are remote, or they're gonna open soon? Or
I personally would prefer that there should be a mix of opening and working from home.
Yeah,
kids should have the access to the school, and that's where the teacher union comes into a play. Teacher union need to understand the need of the students, and they need to have flexible hours instead of having 8 to 3 or 9 to 4 time schedule. The teacher may have to have staggered come in and attend the classes. You can have 4th grade coming in first, 5th grade coming in later, or maybe 4th grade divide them into 2 sections, one section earlier in the morning, second section late in the evening. Those are kind of the breakdowns to bring in the kids into the class, and then telling them that, okay guys, you will be in school for 3 days, for 2 days you will be learning remotely, to assist you with the homework and everything. So those are the things, they are doable. It is not something which cannot be done. These are doable things, and we can do it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Minute, how you want to close it? Do you have anything you want to a last call for your community, or
for my constituents,
or for your campaign?
For my campaign. Thank you. Thanks, David. It's always an honor to be to talk to you, meet you, and especially honored to be on your show. The people within my district, they should be looking at me that I'm the person who has always been able to resolve the issues, who has been able to bring in diversity to the table and talk about it. And for example, when New York State passed the religious God bill, it took us years to get that bill passed in Assembly and Senate, and then the governor Cuomo signed it. The people need to understand that with that bill, that's just an example. Anybody can serve in any public funded, government funded, New York State funded program, whether those are NYPD, state troopers, whether you are a Hasidic Jew, or you are a hijab wearing Muslim, or a person like me with a beard and turban. You can serve in those departments without any restrictions. Just imagine that those are the solutions, those are the kind of things which I can get done. And that is what I'm looking at, that during this time and the time of after pandemic, you need somebody who has proven that they can get the things done, and they have achieved the results. And I'm one of those who has done it across the aisle and achieved the results. And we are going to achieve those results come what may. That's the determination. That determination comes with being a resident of New York.
Thank you so much. That was your show Face to Face. Thank you much, Harpreet, and good luck with the campaign. And please keep watching your news on presenza.com, and hope to hear and see you very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.